Tonight, the 14th time that Nick Diaz will enter the octagon. This is by far the biggest fight of his life. And as I said at the top of the show, Joe, Nick Diaz shuns the spotlight and craves only combat.
And it's an interesting fight in that this is the first time he's fighting at 185 pounds. And he's fighting arguably the greatest fighter of all time at that weight class, which is very unusual. Big challenge. He's not afraid of anybody. He'll step in there against anyone in any weight class, and he has had success against big strikers in the past. He stopped Robbie Lawler, who's the current UFC welterweight champion. He knocked out Paul Daly in Strikeforce in an epic battle. Paul Daly's one of the biggest power strikers in MMA. So Nick Diaz has a tremendous chin and a tremendous amount of experience against dangerous strikers. He also brought in high-level kickboxers to train with. Artem Levin and Joe Schilling. You see Joe Schilling off to his right. Joe Schilling is one of the best fighters in the world in Muay Thai and kickboxing. Brought him in to train with him, and they had some epic gym battles.
Nick Diaz defines pressure fighter. You see his young brother, Nathan Gracie, of course, Nate, Ultimate Fighter winner. Nick fought twice at 180 pounds. This the first time at 185, as Joe said. He had the Robbie Lawler highlight early. Joe talked about Paul Daly, Takanori Gomi and Pride. Nick said he feels stronger at this weight. He's got a very clean diet and an opportunity to defeat the greatest fighter of all time. The former UFC middleweight champion, Anderson Silva, 16 consecutive wins in the octagon. Best ever, 10 title defenses, best ever. The injury in the second fight with Chris Weidman, 13 months later, he is back.
So many questions to be answered. How has he recovered from the devastating 2 losses in a row? The first one, emotionally devastating because he was clowning. He was playing around with Chris Weidman. He got caught with that big left hand. The second one, in a fight that he was losing. He got hurt badly in the first round, throws a kick, and snaps his knee. Snaps his shin. So, confidence is in question. Where is his mind at? What about the amount of punishment he's taken over the course of his career, including the battles in the gym? All these questions need to be answered tonight.
He had emergency surgery that same night, Dr. Steve Sanders. They put a titanium rod through his tibia on the left leg. And we saw some great stories and features on Anderson. How he worked a month, he started walking, and then he progressed and progressed and progressed. And now he is going to fight in the UFC for the 19th time. Anderson, the Spider Silva. Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. Silva, 39 years old, 8 years the elder of Nick Diaz. Everything else pretty close. Slight reach advantage for the former middleweight champion. And here's the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, with Chairman Francisco Aguilar, Executive Director Bob Bennett, Commissioners Skip Avancino, Bill Brady, Pat Lundvall, and Anthony Marnell Jr. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Sal D'Amato, Marcos Rosales, and Glenn Trowbridge. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, John McCarthy. And now, this is the moment UFC fans watching around the world have been waiting for. Live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record, 27 wins, 9 losses, 1 no contest. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Stockton, California, he is the former WEC and Strikeforce welterweight champion, Nick Diaz! And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer and Jiu-Jitsu fighter, holding a professional record, 33 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Curitiba, Brazil, presenting the former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Anderson, the Spider Silva!
Gentlemen, we've gone over the rules in the back. Protect yourself at all times and obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Best of luck to both of you. Step back, let's get going. Good luck.
How good is this? That man, 13 months ago, had what could have been a career-ending injury. He's in the main event tonight against Nick Diaz, a true warrior and a longtime MMA star. Big John McCarthy. Here we go! Black trunks for Nick Diaz. Comes out with a low stance early. The Spider in his trademark yellow and black trunks. Both men southpaws. Nick has outstanding hands. He's already
talking to him. Here we go.
My.
That's what I was hoping for.
And last time I checked, Anderson likes to taunt a little bit as well.
Oh, Nick Diaz landing kicks. Look at this. I love it. I love it. I want him to be mic'd. We need to drop a microphone in there so I can hear what he's saying.
We'd have to beep it all out.
He is talking mad trash. We don't have to beep it. We're on pay-per-view, man.
Yeah, good point.
I want to hear what he's saying. He's talking trash. Look at this.
Oh!
Whoa, look
Anderson
at this.
stepped in and connected.
I'll tell you what, man, that kind of trash talking can mess with your head.
Well, yeah, but would it mess with the head of Anderson Silva? Such a veteran, as successful as anyone in MMA history.
Who knows where Anderson's head is at right now?
Wow, really? I love it!
Look at this.
Nick Diaz is doing an Anderson Silva, and John McCarthy says, let's fight. I don't think Anderson will be goated in.
Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Big John says go after him then. But here's the issue. Anderson likes to counter, okay? If you go back to the fights back in the day where Anderson was not exciting, they're the fights where his opponents did not lead. The Patrick Cote fight, the Talis Leites fight, the Damian Maia fight. Damian Maia, particularly because he couldn't close the distance.
Anderson tried with the combination there. Diaz. Silva, round one. Fight scheduled for five-minute rounds. Watch out for Anderson Silva in the clinch. As dangerous as any fighter in the clinch. The things he did to Rich Franklin back in the day, wow. Another kick from Diaz.
A beautiful leg kick by Diaz.
Watch for Anderson to kick from this position with the left leg. That's the one that was broken. We sure
Nick
saw
Diaz
a training
landed
video
a
where
good left hand there, Mike.
Anderson standing in the pocket now. Nick trying to clip one off his chin.
Nice leg
There's
kick.
the kick.
With the broken leg.
Yes.
The formerly broken leg,
yes.
I should say.
And I think that even though he's trained so much, Joe, you got to have a couple in a live fight, in a real fight, to say, you know what, my leg's okay, let's go. Got to get that first hit and shake it off and know you're okay. Nick's got some fans here tonight.
Anderson is a master at finding openings in the striking. You see it in the Vitor Belfort fight. They moved around a lot until he found something, and that something was a front kick to the face. But Nick Diaz has been training with some really high-level kickboxers in preparation for this fight. Artem Levin, Joe Schilling, two of the very best pure kickboxers in the world today in active competition. So he believes he is well prepared for whatever Anderson could throw at him.
Anderson caught him.
Good counter left
good
there by
jabs.
Anderson.
Looking for that clinch. The knee. 1 minute. Both men taunting, feinting, and again.
Solid jab there by Anderson. Nice leg kick by Nick, again.
There's that kick, and a return by Anderson. Looking for the elbow, and the knee. Oh, over the top.
Good right hand over the top by
Anderson again.
Good success with that left leg kick.
The strikes very close here in round one. Actually, right now, tied at 24. Final 10 seconds.
What is that thing that Nick is doing where he's poking his elbow out at him? Very unusual. I've never seen him.
Yeah, now Anderson has something.
Just perfect form. No lazy punches.
You're doing very well. Very good first round. Jab, kick. Breathe.
Anderson is sending some messages to Nick verbally at the end of the round. Round two. Let this main event continue. Anderson looked very sharp in round 1.
Again, note that Anderson does not like to lead. He likes to counter.
Switches his stance. Just continuously taunting the most successful champion in UFC history. You talk about layoffs, though. I mean, Anderson 13 months, Nick almost twice as long since the fight against George St. Pierre in March of 2013.
Well, Nick only wanted to come back to fight big name fighters. That's it.
Yep.
He wanted to fight for a title or fight someone like this in a main event. And because of that, he held out.
And Joey wanted to fight a guy who he believed would fight him back. First time at 185 for Diaz. Both men Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. Now the Silva fans. The Portuguese chant here inside the sold-out MGM Grand Garden Arena. Inside leg kick. Nick's starting to advance more. Let's see if Anderson's able to counter.
There's that thing that Nick is doing. He's sticking his elbow out at him.
Both Nick and Nate have been with Richard Perez with their striking for so long.
Again, with that left leg kick, that's been one of his best weapons so far. And again.
No attempt to check any of those kicks by Anderson. And the same right there. Although he tried to meet that kick a little bit more. The 1-1-2. That's a good kick.
And that's...
I think we can put that one to rest almost, Joe, if he continues to throw those kicks like that.
Yeah, he seems to have that confidence with it. Look at this.
Good sprawl. Neither fighter with a real true wrestling background. Of course they can wrestle. You have to be successful. So I don't know how many takedown attempts, if any takedowns at all, we might see in this, Joe.
Picking his shorts out of his butt. Blocked.
Look for the elbow. Comes in.
And Nick looking for the counter right hook there.
Total strikes still about dead even. Now we are.
Nice left hand over the top, a right to the body and a left hand over the top by Nick Diaz.
Anderson with the kick.
Comes back with a hard leg kick.
Pushing forward.
Oh, another hard leg kick.
He loves that elbow.
Put a lot of weight behind that last leg kick, Mike.
Picking up the pace here.
And again, that's with his formerly injured leg. Good,
nice,
straight left.
Solid left hand.
Tell you what, Nick Diaz takes a tremendous punch.
Oh,
always
absolutely.
has.
Yeah.
Oh, hard kick to the body by Anderson.
Anderson had that lead upward elbow just miss in the last connection, and there's a good
by Nick.
Yep, countered by Anderson to the body. He has a lot of movement, and now he connects. Watch out.
Nick Diaz over the top with some right hands.
Anderson right there in his face, though. 10 seconds. Let's keep going. Wow. They are on their feet here in Las Vegas.
Breathe. Let your arms loose. Breathe a little bit. Relax. Take it easy. That's it. Breathe. Your movement is perfect. Listen, I want you to anticipate him. Don't stay in one place.
Is doing great. When you guys are toe-to-toe boxing, it looks amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Here's some water.
Luis Doria has been with Anderson a long time. In his corner, Gil Melendez, Nathan Diaz, Cesar Gracie, all supporting Nick Diaz. Round 3.
We're starting to see Anderson open up and get loose.
Right near the end of that round, Anderson was pushing forward. And light heavyweight champion John Jones, who's in the crowd, Joe, just stood up. He's become such a fan, as everyone is, this main event tonight. Inside leg kick. And again with that lead kick.
Nick is switching stances up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now in orthodox. He needs to be more active here.
Anderson looked for the head kick. Anderson, very disciplined, and that's what we talked about earlier. Would he fall into this Nick Diaz trap? So far, he has not.
Well, this plays against Anderson's style. I mean, Anderson's style is to attack guys as they're coming at him. I mean, you look at the Forrest Griffin fight, it's a perfect
now
example
he's making
of that.
fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I'm speaking, Joe, of Nick trying to taunt him, and Anderson goes back to the center. I'll fight my fight. I'll take care of
Yeah,
things.
well, I think it's the only way Nick can get Anderson to lead.
Yeah. Anderson just pushed forward a bit there. Switch. Nick said he felt very strong here at 185. He's carrying more body weight and more muscle than he usually has.
Well, he's also not dehydrating himself to make the weight.
Diaz tried to land the same kick that Anderson has found success with. That upward elbow just missed again. Anderson picking it up. The flying knee.
And Diaz with a right hand over the top.
Anderson
Nice
with a
kick
kick
to the body.
back to the southpaw stance.
And again, that leg kick, but it doesn't seem...
Hurts. They're in range now. Anderson's movement is so spectacular. And Nick's starting to get busted up a little bit, Joe.
He ripped that right hook to the body there, and a
Nice.
left hand over the top.
You can see the damage on the face of Nick Diaz. Anderson looks just like he did when he walked in.
Diaz over the top with the left, and a good jab.
Jake Shields once said of Nick Diaz, he is the hardest worker I have ever seen. He runs about 6 triathlons on an average each year. He and his brother Nate. Cardio has never been a problem for Nick Diaz.
Nice inside leg kick by Anderson. The difference in speed, though, the way Anderson's able, look at that. the way he's able to deliver his strikes is very noticeable.
He's got that great Muay Thai base. Nick has Muay Thai, but he loves to box.
And Nick looking to land punches over the top. Nice leg kick by Anderson again with that formerly wounded leg. Good right hands by Anderson.
He spins and just misses.
Beautiful leg kick.
Chopping down the lead leg of Nick Diaz.
He's having no problem kicking with that leg.
Titanium rod in it. It was just mental, and he's working through it. Look at that, hands down, Anderson Silva style. And the counter.
Left hand over the top by Diaz. And again, right hand that time landed. Short right hook landed for Diaz.
Big round in total strikes for Anderson Silva.
Take deep breaths. Let your nose out.
Nick, you're doing fantastic, buddy. Use your tricks. You're setting up your hands. Just go on the fight. Just ask him, take your takedowns and shoot it up there. Be creative. Don't let push kick your face.
A little more in the exchange.
You're doing very well. The jab's perfect, but you got to move more. When he stops, you got to come in with the knee, with the elbow, surprise him. This hand is what opens up. Third round, fourth round, let's go.
Look at this, right hook by Anderson. In there, he threw a kick, but almost like halved it, and then threw a punch behind it. And here's Nick with a right to the body, the left over the top.
Pretty much every one of Anderson's fights, couple of 205, of course, Joe, been 5-round fights. We are in the fourth round here. Nick Diaz scheduled for 5 rounds 8 times. He went the distance on 3 occasions. GSP, Condit, and KJ Noons.
Anderson going up high with that front leg round kick. He's loosening up.
A lot of bruising starting to surface on Nick Diaz. See it under his left arm on that rib cage. All kinds of lit up. Anderson, very disciplined, very calculated, and trying to be ultra effective here in the fourth. You know he wants to stop him, but the same obviously can be said for Diaz.
We've seen more kicks by Diaz in this fight than anyone that I can recall.
Absolutely.
And he's been fairly effective with that left leg kick.
Anderson's movement still looks good.
Yeah, he's not showing any signs of fatigue at all.
In some ways, he had a mental break, got away from it, worked on his strength and conditioning. He wants to make another run at it. He wants that belt back.
This might be the most amount of leg kicks anybody's ever landed on Anderson.
21 landed thus far in the fight by Diaz. Anderson looking to cut off the octagon there.
Nick's just having a really hard time reaching him. You really see the difference in speed now.
Yeah.
As Anderson gets loose. Nice jab to the body by Anderson. But Nick is still cutting him off, trying to attack.
past the midway point of round 4. Good kick. Silva trying to counter now. Such superb head movement. Caught him.
Nice leg kick by Anderson.
Came
Very
across
nice.
the body there, Joe.
Good elbow over the top by Nick Diaz.
Anderson pushing him towards the fence. Up the middle. Remember when Anderson was knocked out by Chris Weidman? He was showboating a bit and he got caught, he got clipped. The second fight, he broke his leg. Double jab.
Beautiful leg kick.
See if Nick can get some pop again. It's Anderson who looks more explosive. And Anderson with the better accuracy. Nick's not going to win the fight like that. Again, he comes across the body with that kick.
That right hook, left leg kick combination is very nice for Anderson. If Nick wants to win this fight, there's only one way. I mean, he's got to smother Anderson and try to take him out. I mean, he's most certainly losing these striking exchanges, especially at this point, where he's just having a really hard time reaching Anderson.
Breathe. You won 4th round, and you're going to the last round. More serious than ever, okay? You got to keep moving. He's not touching you. Keep this hand forward. Jab, hook, and come with the elbow. Let's win this and win this well. Let's go. The forward hand working all the time. Don't trade punches with him now. You're the only one to hit.
Make an exchange.
Close. Put it on in this one.
Don't get over aggressive, but make him fight you. You got this. You got it. You got it, Nick.
5 minutes remain. Nick Diaz, Anderson Silva. Fifth and final round. Joe, Nick's got to start putting those combinations together, and we've seen him do it many, many times. The BJ Penn fight, the best he looked.
Anderson looks like the Anderson of old right now, Mike.
He sure does.
Very loose, very relaxed.
He's the man who won 16 straight fights to begin his UFC career.
Nick's sticking his chin out. He's talking to him. He's looking for that. That's what he's looking for. Looking for that counter right hook.
Anderson really mixing it up well tonight. Nick just doesn't seem to have that explosion here in the later rounds.
Well, he's never been the fastest guy. He's been a more of a volume style striker. Nice
Anderson,
jab.
Yeah, uppercut jab. And again with the double jab.
And you got to wonder if Anderson is going to feel frustrated in that he can't take Nick out. And that he is being taunted by this guy. who fought at 155 pounds.
I think if he was going to be frustrated, he would have.
There's a nice left hand by Nick Diaz.
Anderson just missed with a kick. Now pushes forward again.
Nick Diaz is looking for that counter right hook, Mike.
Anderson all business here tonight.
Again with that front leg side kick, the side kick to the thigh. Good left hand over the top by Diaz.
And
good
ducking
right hook
under
as well.
with Silva. Midway point of the 5th and final round. Anderson, combination, and he gets out of harm's way.
He's just rolling away from that and slides easily out of the way of that leg kick. They exchange kicks there.
He's so good with that type of movement.
Again, Nick lands that leg kick.
He hasn't even tried to check one of them. Anderson punches and bunches. See if Nick has one sprint left. Anderson just slipping those punches.
Yeah, you think about it, this is a guy who took out light heavyweights. James Irvin, Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, a former world champion.
Forrest so frustrated, Joey, just walked out of the octagon.
And Nick Diaz just standing right in front of him and not really in danger of being stopped once. I mean, he's definitely been lit up. He's got some bruising and cutting on his face, but
look at Anderson. He looks perfect.
yeah.
You know, he's got some bruising on that leg.
Well, you know, we've never seen Anderson swell or cut, even in his losses. There's a nice leg kick by Nick. That was a hard one.
Final minute of the fight. Elbow. Oh, yeah, Nick is all busted up under the eye.
Yeah, his left eye looks pretty bad now.
Might have been that elbow right there.
But he's so accustomed to that, Mike. I mean, he's fought so many fights like that. Even had surgery to take some of his scar tissue down and smooth out the bone on his brow because he was cutting so much.
30 seconds. Dr. Frank Style did that surgery for Nick years ago.
The question is going to be whether Anderson is content to just do like this and win a decision, or whether he decides to open up at the last few seconds of this fight.
Ten seconds. They are going to go the distance. Anderson Silva returning for the first time in 399 days. And look at this, champion and champion. John Jones is an Anderson Silva fan.
And here we see Anderson, very nice, worksman-like performance here. And Nick putting pressure on him here, throwing that right to the body and then the left over the top. And here's Anderson prodding with that jab, looking for an opening for the left. Gets through with that right.
And Anderson Silva's reaction at the end of the fight. Mentally, it must feel outstanding for Anderson Silva. He went in, he fought 25 minutes. He knows that he is healthy enough to be a force, once again, inside the octagon. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 49-46, 50-45, and 50-45 for the winner by unanimous decision, Anderson the Spider Silva!
Yes, take it in, fans. Overcome with emotion. What a road back it has been for Anderson Silva and Nick Diaz, sharing the respect here.
All right, I'm here with Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva. First of all, Anderson, congratulations. This is obviously a very, very emotional moment for you. What was going through your mind when he announced the decision that led you to just drop to the ground like that?
So, I need to say, one, thank you, God. Thank you for giving me one more chance for staying here. Thank you, my family, my kids, and my friends, my real friends. Thank you.
You were incredibly emotional, Anderson. How important was this victory to you?
Você está muito emotivo. Qual foi a importância dessa vitória para você?
Sorry, I go talk to Portuguese because my English is bad, okay? Sorry. Esse momento é muito importante para mim, para toda a minha família e para todos os brasileiros. Queria agradecer a todos vocês que vieram aqui, todos os brasileiros. E esse momento para mim é muito importante por conta de tudo que eu sofri durante esse 1 ano. Eu achei que não ia voltar a lutar no começo. Queria agradecer ao meu médico, o Dr. Márcio Tanuri, ao médico que me operou aqui. Queria agradecer ao Lorenzo e ao Dana por tudo que eles fizeram por mim durante a minha recuperação. E é isso. Thank you, God.
This is a very important moment for me, a very important moment for my whole family, for all the Brazilians. I have to thank everybody that came out here. I went through a lot of suffering the past year, everything that I went through. In the beginning, I thought that I wouldn't be able to come back. I have to thank my doctor in Brazil, Dr. Márcio Tanuri, the doctor that performed my surgery, Lorenzo and Dana, and thank you, God.
Was this fight psychologically one of the more difficult fights of your career, coming off the first 2 losses ever in the octagon?
Psicologicamente, essa foi a luta mais dura da sua carreira, saindo de 2 derrotas.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick is the best. When I stay here for a long time. It's the first time in my life when I fight for the guy strong, the mentally strong, punch is strong, the kicks is strong. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for the opportunity for fighting.
What was he saying to you at the beginning of the first round when he was taunting you? He was obviously trying to get you to lead. What was he saying to you?
O que ele estava falando para você no início do primeiro round? Ele estava tentando fazer você engajar, né? O que ele dizia?
This is the great show for the people. Nick is the great show. I'm the great show. This is for the people in here. This is no bad man. This is Nick Diaz. This is the show. This is the UFC.
Anderson, you've gotten through this victory. You're back. What's next?
I go back to my family now, and I think so. My kid Khalil say, "Dad, no more. Please stop. Stop, Dad." And I go back to my home, take my kids, and I don't know, and maybe my back. I don't know.
Well, congratulations on your victory. It's been an honor watching you fight all these years.
People, listen. This is a sport. This is the great sport in the world. I need to say thank you for all